So Harley, the king of personal shopping. Here's an LV briefcase. Is it real or is it fake?
Today on the Multipliers Club, we're sitting down with Harley, someone who has become one of the most exciting young entrepreneurs in Dubai. At just 25 years old, he built a luxury sourcing business that most people couldn't pull off in their entire career, and he done this in just under 12 months.
You're in business with the Tates,
Yep.
Huge names. How have you done it when so many people come to this big city and don't make it?
How we've got to where we are today is I never took no for an answer, and I've taken some big moves that really should have sent me under, and I thought they would have sent me under. But it was coming out here and not living the typical Dubai life.
Harley moved to Dubai last year with no safety net, no connections, and nothing but drive. Fast forward to now, he's the founder of Trend Sourcing Dubai and Trend Auto DXB, serving high net worth clients, celebrities, and even royalty, all built purely through graft consistency and a refusal to ever take no for an answer. In this episode, we cover how Harley scaled so quickly in one of the most competitive cities on the planet, how he stayed laser focused whilst everyone else was partying, the insane work ethic behind his 5 AM starts and 1 AM finishes, and how he built an ecosystem where a client of his might come in and buy a £500 pair of shoes and later buy a car worth over £110,000. Harley's story is genuinely inspiring, especially for young entrepreneurs, and it's packed with lessons on discipline, mindset, networking, and taking risks early whilst you've still got nothing to lose.
So Harley, the king of personal shopping. Here's an LV briefcase. I want you to have a look at this. I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. Is it real or is it fake?
I don't know if I want to draw you out on the camera, bro. I'm going to say it's fake. And I can tell by that because there's certain features, there's stamps in the wrong place. With Louis Vuitton, it's harder nowadays because it's just standard leather, you know. Dealing with Hermes, it's a lot easier for me to pick out things. But yeah, the zipper's off, the stamp's off. There's a lot of loose stitching over here. I don't know how long you've had the bag, but with a brand like this, you probably wouldn't see that Louis Vuitton. Yeah, I'm going to say it's fake.
Okay. And out of 10, rate that replica. Is that like, I mean, to the untrained eye, I mean, I'd personally never know. I'm not really too into bags as such, but like looking at that, would you, from afar, think that could be real? Can you spot that like straight away?
I feel like most people aren't going to even touch a bag ever, are they? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, look, from a colour-wise, you can tell. But then, like I say, with Louis Vuitton, there's not much going on with the bag, you know. So there is some elite fakes. Nowadays, I hear horror stories that there's chips in some of the fakes, which they scan through and invoices that to Bond Street. So, yeah, from the eye, it looks good, you know. But that's why I sort of steered away from certain brands that are a lot more accessible. With a Hermes bag, it's a lot harder to fake because there's such a heavy premium on the bag. They know people are going to sort of send them away, check them. We do the checks we do on Hermes bags now. Like, you won't be able to sell me a fake bag ever.
So like in your industry, because you're dealing with so many goods, luxury goods, how often is it that sometimes when you might go to see a product that you might go to buy, that you have to do a check and sometimes it could be a fake? I could imagine the market does actually get them slipped in without knowing sometimes.
Yeah, every day. Every day. I think, look, one wrong mistake can hinder a business. For us, we're not about fast business, so we don't cash out fast with people. One, I've got a solid supply chain, but even then, I'm a paranoid person. Hence why I left the UK. So even when a supply chain, I look at a supplier and I think, look, you could have a really good 3 years with me and then slip something in there and think I'm not going to check it, which I've heard the horror stories. So with us, and I'm that paranoid, even if I sell you a bag, if you sell that bag back to me, which we ask you to do because we always want to give you first buyback, I still check the bag. Because especially in Dubai, what I've found, Dubai literally is one straight line, if you think about it. To get to Abu Dhabi, it's one straight line. To get to the end of Dubai, it's one straight line. It tells you how small the place is. One mistake is a lot of Chinese whispers and it could go to the wrong person and it could shut our business down. So we check everything.
Yeah, for sure. So you've done it so big in a personal shopping space in Dubai. And when did you move out here?
I moved out here January last year, January 4th.
Short space of time.
Yeah.
You're, in business with the Tates.
Yep.
Huge names. How have you done it when so many people come to this big city and don't make it?
I never took no for an answer. So when I moved out, I didn't have anybody here. So we'll get into this, but I brought a business partner into the business who was already established in Dubai solely for his black book only. So I didn't take any investment from anybody, and still today haven't. I just wanted, and I won't shy away from it, I wanted to cut a few corners in the sense of clients because he sold supercars. He was a client of mine and we'd done a bit of business before moving to Dubai. So I see the strength of his client base. And I think what he was able to identify as well is I was able to service his clients better than what he was because I'm young, hungry, and I offer a different product to him. So that helped me a lot. But I think how we've got to where we are today is I never took no for an answer. And I've taken some big moves that really should have sent me under. And I thought they would have sent me under. But it was coming out here and not living a typical Dubai life. So everybody says to me, mate, when you go out there, like, slow down, don't do the partying and don't do the fast this and don't try and... I've not lived beyond my means in any way possible. Realistically, I should be living on the palm, but I'm not. Solely because my focus is to turn around and say, I've got X amount in stock. I've got a showroom. I barely go out. And when I do go out, I'm in the right places, speaking to the right people. I'm not down at surf club on a Friday trying to party. I'm in rooms that many people of my age and in the personal shopping space probably can't get themselves in.
Is it hard to stay away from the temptation because there's so much going on in this city?
Do you know what? Yes, every day. This is the only place in the world that Monday's a good night out. Tuesday's a good night out. Wednesday's a good night out. You don't see that, yeah? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe in the UK. Wednesday starts to get a little bit lively. Thursday, you're out. Friday, you're having it. Saturday, you're having it. Sunday, you're dead, yeah? Here's every day. Like, we live on the beach in the sun. For me, I'm so drummed into business, I don't have time to lose deals. Every single day here is a deal, right? What you find in the UK is I found that weekends, everybody's a little bit slower, a little bit offline. Here's not the same. Like, I wake up at 5 a.m. Like, I'm in a bit of a bottleneck now. I can't find any more time. I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed at 1 a.m. I can't do any more than that. Yet, I'm missing inquiries. We're still getting inquiries. I get calls at 4 in the morning. People want to buy watches. I'm like, mate, it's 4 in the morning.
Really?
But this city don't sleep, you know? So for me, being out or being hungover or going out and partying, I'm going to end up losing deals. So I've sort of shied away from it.
It's hard because you feel like it's going to cost you money, right? You know what I mean? You go
Yeah.
out and then you have a good time and that, but then, you could have sold this for X amount.
And it has done.
that's business, and it's hard work.
And it
like
has
that.
done. So I'll sort of mentally do 2 big months in Dubai, and then I'll go away for 2 or 3 days somewhere. Not so much to party, but just to get out in the Dubai bubble, go to Paris or Europe. That's my downtime, still working, and then I'll come back.
I suppose in your game, one missed call could be a £250,000 sale.
Yeah.
Right? Talking about watches, you've got a lovely kettle on your wrist today. Could you show us what that is today?
Yeah, so this is the Patek 59, I want to say 5980 or 59. I'm not a big watch fanatic, me, but this is bought off a client of mine. So we do a lot of buying. We do watches, cars, and bags. But bought this off a client, and this is for sale. So it's $178,000, which is fairly fair, 2024. But that's you touching on watches and picking it out. Another reason why I think that we're fans such a niche here is I've focused on what I know. A lot of people move in and try and do everything. Although to the eye, Trend is a one-stop shop. How we've built the brand so quick is by I've brought in individuals into the business that are experts in different fields. So when you come and buy a watch, you're speaking to somebody that's done watches for the last 7 years. When you do eventually, and we'll go into the other businesses that I own now, buy a car from us, you're not speaking to me. You're speaking to someone who's been in cars for 10 plus years. And then I've built up a team of like real board experts that when you come in, you're being serviced by the best, which will allow you to just get the best service from us.
Yeah.
What's
for
the main thing you're selling right now? What's your main
For
product?
me personally, if we're looking at trend sourcing, sort of the fashion arm of our business, it's Hermes bags. Like, it's disgusting here. Yeah, us walking around, like in London, it's Goyard, Louis Vuitton, Dior. I would say if a woman isn't walking around with Hermes bag, she's doing something wrong. You know, like people walking and be like, yeah, do you know what? I had an argument with my missus yesterday. What can I buy her? And I'm like, the old me would be like, yeah, got Dior, got Elvin. I'm like, well, mate, look, there's a Himalayan Birkin there. That's $500,000 dirham. He'd be like, yeah, go on, I'll have that. And you know what? I'll have 2 of them. And that's the norm here, you know? And unrealistic deals in Dubai are not unrealistic. So getting a call at 4 in the morning for a watch in London would be probably someone's trying to rob you.
Yeah.
Here, this
Someone's
is the
off
norm.
their nut,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah, do you know what I mean? Someone's in a kitchen somewhere and they're saying they're going to want to buy a watch or they just want to do you over. Here, it probably is a billionaire that's probably seen a watch online and thought, you know what, I want it and I want it now. And that's the norm here. Yeah, so Hermes bags for us.
Are you still doing like the fashion side, the clothing and that type of stuff?
Yeah and no. What the thing is here, being in Dubai, is you don't have that European access as easy as you did in the UK. So I could dart to Paris and Milan fairly quick. Logistics here for ready to wear is a little bit harder. So how we position the business is if you can go in the shop yourself and buy it, we don't really want it in the showroom because we want to be super exclusive. So anything that's in the showroom that's on the shop floor is below retail. So Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hermes ready to wear, we position ourselves below retail. But then by the time we get it here, the margins might be 20, 30, 40 pound. So we have got a wide selection. That's more of a magnet feeder. You know, if you buy a t-shirt and it's below retail, you're like, oh, these guys are interesting. Then I'll sell you a bag. So we still do it, but we're not stocking loads of it in the showroom.
Let's go back to the Birkin bags for a second, right? So I know very little about bags, but naturally you hear about Birkins, people spending like half a M on a bag.
Yeah.
who's buying these type of bags? Like, what are their background?
Yeah, bro, look, in Dubai, it's everything. Yeah, from people that don't have jobs to people that are like tech millionaires. Like we had a guy come in the other day, 19-year-old, bought a Birkin for his missus. I asked him what he'd done. He said, I'm retired. So, what do you mean I'm retired?
19.
Yeah, like set up a
started
cyber security company at like 14. It's now he's just like playing around with crypto. So I've met everybody out here, bro, from real estate owners to we was in the gym the other day and someone pointed him out, the owner of Telegram. Do you know what I mean? Just training. Yeah, just training next to you. I was in the gym the other day. You've got Kamzat, UFC fight sitting in the sauna with you. So wide spectrum of athletes to expats and you've got to think, I've got a lot of clients in the UK that are quite wealthy. The minute they move here, they're 10 times more wealthier, right? Because obviously of tax purposes.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot more disposable cash. And what do you spend
away.
disposable cash on? Bags, clothes, watches, lifestyle. So I'm at the forefront of people just spending erratically.
That's the thing. People like, especially if you've been in the UK or somewhere you're restricted, it's like, it's quite addictive, isn't it? Like buying new stuff, treating yourself, you get a bit of a dopamine hit. So I feel like so much money just locked in businesses. Everyone in the UK is in the mindset, which I guess in one element's good about reinvesting in your business, but a lot of the stuff you kind of do just to get your tax bill down.
Oh, for sure.
It's like you may as well. Here, if you don't have to do that and you've got all that extra cash, it's like, well, I used to give this to the tax man or reinvest into X, Y, Z.
Now it's actually your
Now
money,
I can go and buy
free cash, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like it's free money to
Yeah.
it. So I can imagine people
Me and Luke were
spending.
talking about this not so long ago. Like, if we moved all of our operations to Dubai, we would be over 6 figures up every year. Each, which is a huge difference. So with the bag space, right? I could imagine, because you're dealing with such big numbers with these spaces and these high net worth individuals, I could imagine they're probably quite selective with who they do business with, right?
Yeah.
How have you managed to build the reputation with them to sell £500,000 bags? Because there must be like a big trust build element there.
Yeah, 100%. I think the exciting thing for us is, and someone said this to me the other day, is one, we haven't even touched the local market. So what I mean by that is a lot of my clients are expats. They are people that have come from in and around the UK that are now in Dubai. So we are a very home from home business model at the minute. We're now starting to sort of deal a lot with like German client base, Russian. There's a lot of Dutch in Dubai, a lot of Moroccans. It's a wide spectrum, but then looking at the local market, I've not even touched. If I touch that, it's game over for everybody, you know. But with that area, that does need a local individual to come in and sort of support them, because there's a little bit of a trust element. Now, with our client base now, I think where Dubai is such a safe country, people are a little bit more open-minded to doing deals with people, because if you, in theory, do somebody over here, you're very quick to get shut down. So I think that's, even when I'm buying from people, I might buy a watch from Joe Blogs, for example, and I might think, you know what, well, I live in Dubai. If he does do me over, I know I can shut it down fairly quickly. He wouldn't do it because crime's frowned upon here, right? I think having a showroom's a big element, and so is content. You know, we put a lot of educational content out there about bags and my knowledge and my experience and my journey. And my friend who owns Strada, he said it, they're selling a story. We also sell a story behind Trend, you know? So I think people buy into that. We're not, a lot of our competition here are freestanding. So what we notice is where it's so safe, not many people have got the balls to go and get a showroom, because they know they can work from a coffee shop or a lobby, or they can sit in a beach club with RMs and Pateks hoping to do a deal. Having a showroom, and we've seen it, many people will come in and they'll just walk out and they'll come back a month later and they'll spend thousands. So I think it's sort of like just sort of testing the waters. And as I say, it's illegal to sell counterfeit, right? So having a showroom that it's open to the public, selling counterfeit isn't going to happen. So people know that when they come in, what we're selling is genuine. They build a rapport with me and the team. And then over time, they'll then buy in. All my big spenders have bought one pair of shoes first. So I sold an 812 Ferrari the other day, right? He initially coming to me, he only bought one pair of sandals from me. From the point of him buying a sandal to the point of him buying a car, we just stayed in contact. You know, he's watching the content. He's on my WhatsApp broadcast. He's built up an online rapport with me. He now trusts me to obviously...
Lifetime value of people is crazy, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
like, people aren't going to go off these things, you know? If they're living that lifestyle, they're buying these things.
Exactly.
Like, there's only going to come more. And if you already just sold them that, they're going to come to you next, right? For anything.
Yeah, exactly that. And people watch, you know, and people judge. You know, so like I drive a nice car, I wear a nice watch. This is also a trust factor. Unfortunately, you know, in the UK, you couldn't do this. People judge people in Dubai, and I hate this part of Dubai, to be honest with you, but I understand it, is if you pull up in a crap car, someone probably won't do a deal with you. If you're wearing a crap watch, somebody probably won't do a deal with you. It's just the way Dubai is, because they judge people on image wealth. You know, where do you live? What car do you drive? What's your number? Like, Someone said to me the other day, what's your number plate? I said, mate, it's just a normal number plate. Oh, you ain't got a custom plate? No. Oh, yeah, car can't be that nice. And I was like, what? Do you know what I mean? So it's a lot different in the UK, but that is a factor as well.
How was things going in the UK? Like when you were in the UK with your business, like
Yeah.
What made you leave and where was it at that point?
Do you know what? Surprisingly, even now, business is still very good. You know,
You're still running in the UK?
Yeah, we're still running. Yeah. So we only shut the office like 6 months ago. So we had an office in Liverpool Street that we wasn't client facing, but was operations. You know, my team have now relocated to Dubai. I brought them all here solely because being 4 hours ahead for me wasn't working. You know, as much as many people that have got a business in the UK look at the extra 4 hours as like their time before going into UK hours, but if I'm working UK and Dubai hours, by the time that 4 hours comes in, it's 8 a.m. there, 12 in the afternoon here. I'm deep in deals. So I wasn't even catching up with the team. So I said, look, let's close the office. We can drop ship from our phones because everything's done by your phone. We're not doing sort of meeting people in car parks anymore or anything like that in the UK. It's not worth it. So I said, look, move over here and we'll do what we're doing from here. So business in the UK was good. And I never left it because of that. It was, I only came to Dubai once before relocating here. So it's not like I test phased the market and been over here and done loads of deals and had clients. It was literally, I want to level up. And I know I can't level up in the UK. And another thing for me was I was struggling to grow my circle of business friends and friends because the conversations weren't the same. You know, I was my own boss with an office in the city doing really, really well. And trying to explain that to other people, it was like you sort of got massive evil eye from people, you know, or people thought that you were talking rubbish, which weren't the case. Because the minute I moved out here, I could be very free about what I was doing and what I did. And I'm very content driven. You know, I want to talk about the deals we done yesterday, the clients that we're generating, how much that item is and how much it is now. Can't do that in the UK. So it was more just to take a risk. I left when I was, so last year, 24. I still lived at home. You know, I had and still now, well, I've got a lot to lose now because I've got a lot of outgoings, but I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So my mentality was go out there. If it doesn't work, we're coming back.
Joe here, just a quick break from this episode. You can see we've flown out to Dubai. We're investing massively into growing this channel, bringing on bigger and better guests. And if you're watching this and you are getting value, you're enjoying it, then just do us one favor. Please hit the subscribe button. The more followers and subscribers we get on the podcast, the more incredible guests we can bring on, just like this one, the more conversations you get to enjoy and learn from. All right, back to the podcast.
Coming back.
Yeah, I mean, good decision, right?
Yeah, best decision ever. I won't go back now. This is home. Yeah, this is home. And we're looking to scale in and around now, sort of.
Do you feel that way for example, when before I assume, do you have kids?
No kids, no.
Okay, so you've been with your missus for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
a long time.
Can you see yourself like raising kids in Dubai? Or would you want to go back to the UK?
No, 100%. We have said this and we've had this conversation. My kids will definitely know about London. Why? Because you see a lot of kids out here and they're not streetwise at all. And I feel like that's helped me in life, in business and everything, you know? And I think the life I'm going to pay for my kids is going to be very different to what I experience, you know? Yeah, they're going to live in a big house. Yeah, they're going to see supercars. Yeah, they're going to see me wearing nice watches and they're going to have an amazing life. I had an amazing life, but not what today's life is like, right? Living in Dubai, and we said it yesterday on the weekend. I said at Royal Atlantis, you're looking at all these little kids on holiday, and we said it. We was walking, and we was like, "You do think these kids know exactly where they are? This hotel is $2.5 grand a night. You know, they looking at this just playing on the beach. This hotel is the 6th best hotel in the world." And I was like, "Look, this is what my kids are going to see. You know, the staycays and things like that." So, but they need to remember where it all started, because it won't be a matter of my kids knowing what money is. You know, I was brought up by, if you want it, you got to go out and get it. And I never got any handouts.
You saying that reminds me, actually, it was you that kind of changed my perspective a little bit on it. I see you put a video out when you moved here.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, that's so right. You said about, because in your head, you do want your kids to be a little bit streetwise. That's what you always have, or at least if you're having sons, right? You want them to have a bit of be a bit streetwise, sorry. But I think you said, like, how do you get streetwise? You get streetwise by being around certain situations
100%.
and seeing certain things. And do you actually want your kids to go through that? Like, do you actually want your kids to be there? Because all of those things that make you a bit streetwise are typically situations that could have gone one of two ways. Like, if you've seen crazy fights, or you've seen someone get stabbed, or you've seen people get robbed, or all of these things we've probably all seen growing up just in London. And that's us not growing up in gangs or anything. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's just, we're in and around South London. Like, I've seen all of that stuff happen time and time again. But quite easy, if you're going to live through that same scenario 2, 3, 4 times, something could flip on you at one of those times. Yeah, that knife could end up somehow accidentally in you, and so then you put your kid in that situation. Do you actually want that? Do you want the streetwise? Do you want them in?
You know what? It's a really difficult one to gauge, because I thought about the same thing. Like, naturally, growing up where we grew up, we've all seen mad stuff or been involved in mad stuff by default. But I think you want to shield your child from it, but they need to know to a degree. So I think I've always thought about getting them into combat sports early, and taking them back to perhaps Croydon, because there's no way my kids are growing up where we grew up.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go to Croydon. I went there once and never went back, man. Wow.
Locked car and just drive around and just show them, like, look, this is how life could have been if Daddy didn't work so hard.
And that's exactly what I would do. It's more, it didn't, because when you look at people's lifestyles and you look at successful people, you think that they've just come from a silver spoon, right? And many people say it to me. I had it the other day with somebody, and they said, mate, I bet your mum and dad's well rich. I said, absolutely not. I said, like, my dad's a bricklayer, and we lived a normal life, and I built this alone. Yeah, I got their support, but I built this individually. I built this, like, independently. And I think you've got to strip back, you know, where I haven't seen that luxury lifestyle. I sort of can assume the upbringing that my mum and dad had, if that made sense. So I think for me, it's more, this is where it started. And ultimately, London is still home, but it's not the future for me. But it'd be nice to go. I like going back quickly for business, but it's nice to go back and remember the luxury you've really got. And it makes you appreciate being in Dubai, because sometimes it's very easy to not appreciate what you've got around you. But you go back to London, the minute I land into like Gatwick, I'm like, wow, like, get me back. Do you know what I mean? You need that sometimes to go back and realize how bad it is there, to come back and then motivate you more that this is life and you've got to make this the forever.
Do you miss anything about the UK?
No, I'll be honest with you. The only thing I miss is, and I know it sounds weird, is like the greenery side of things.
Yeah.
You know, here, like, going for a walk here is nice, but like, you going for a walk at 6 a.m. in the morning, you've only got an hour out before like you're dripping in sweat or it's carnage, you know? And I think the little things, like, I always used to go for a walk down Brick Lane on a Sunday with my missus, my mum and my dad. That was nice. But then I could just go for a walk down the Palm now, you know? So I do miss it sometimes. And I miss where my office is in Liverpool, I do miss the hustle and bustle of like being down Bond Street, Selfridges, doing deals, buying and selling. But then you've also got that here, you know? But yeah, you can't compare, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's just so different, isn't it? Being in the UK, right, in your industry, being luxury goods, I mean, you've got a 6-figure kettle on your wrist right now, right? Did you ever run into any tricky situations when you were dealing in London?
Do you know what? Surprisingly, no. And touch wood, it remains like that. I've heard some horror stories. Literally, as I move, the horror stories start to unfold of other resellers. I've heard mad stories, kidnappings, and offices going through and people being robbed. One of my friends has been robbed 3 or 4 times, and that still puzzles me how he's not relocated, you know, because I think if I was to encounter that, it would just throw me off the industry massively. Yeah. I was a bit of a psychopath in the UK in the sense of, like, I took a very expensive office in the city opposite City Police Station because I knew someone would want to rob me. My pals didn't even come to my office. It's funny, right? Because I was not too far from Broadgate Circle, and the boys that still used to work in the city be like, oh, mate, like, look, what we do, we go Broadgate Circle, and then we come to yours. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. Well, look, when you're free, give me a call, knowing farewell that when they gave me that call, I'll be like, no, I'm not there. But I was there.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't trust them, but we can all be pillow talkers, yeah? I don't know what kitchen they're going to end up in, and someone might go, you know what, Harley's got a lovely office, he's smashing it. Someone might go, where? And that's a very innocent conversation, but I sort of know where that journey's going to go. And I think what helped me is I grew up with a lot of people that become the people that they shouldn't have become. And I was very one of maybe 2 of us that took a different direction. So I always thought like a scumbag, if that made sense, for my own sake. Like, if I was going to rob me, how would I rob me? Like, I never drove to the office. I never parked outside my house. I used to do mad things. Like, when I used to leave the office, if I was to walk home, because I could, I would walk in the opposite direction towards like Tottenham Court Road, then jump on the train back. Really weird. And it'd take a lot of my time. But I used to think that if someone was following me, and it's not actually healthy to even be thinking like this, right? That if someone was following me, they're going to give up anyway. Because I'm heading towards the city of London now, and then I'm jumping on a train, and then I'm going in a completely different direction.
It's mad how you have to think like that, though. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
the thing.
Like,
it takes up so much headspace and energy
So
to
much,
like think of this.
So much,
So
and we
you
never
have to be paranoid, innit? Because
we never, like, that office is so expensive. And when I took it, I was like, so I'm going to turn this into a showroom, do appointments. And I thought, wait, like, if someone walks in here and pulls out a weapon, they are going to rob me. Despite City Police Station being over there, do I want to even encounter that experience and have the police dealing with it and whatnot? Do I want to encounter someone even trying to do it? Because if someone does try to do it, that's going to put me off the industry
it's
massively.
annoying because you have to be careful about what you put on Instagram, but you need Instagram to sell.
sell.
But you have to
Yeah.
actually think, oh, can I post this? Do
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
and do you know what? Now I think about it, like, I was put myself at risk many times. Some days, and I say I think paranoid, but some days I'll be so deep in deals, man. I'll jump on the Elizabeth line back to the office with loads of Louis Vuitton bags, just not thinking anything of it.
Were they hidden or they were just
No,
open?
no, just be out. Yeah, like gift bags if I was shopping. Or sometimes I even did it the other day, and I said to my pal, I said, I can't believe I just done that. I went into the Selfridges, and this was like 2 months ago. I bought a Rimowa suitcase, but man, I couldn't book an Uber, and I needed to get back, and I jumped on the train. But the only thing I was thinking, if someone tries to rob me, I'm just going to smack this Rimowa straight over their head. But I was thinking, like, that Rimowa is $4,000. It's the same as walking around with $4,000 in your hand. Someone could see that and go, do you know what? That's worth money.
People
I'll take
do
it.
as well, man.
Yeah, they do.
I had it. So obviously I did the same, and we started at the same time with the personal shopping. I had it. My storage unit, you know, like SureGuard,
Yeah.
that got broken into, which is meant to be you're paying them. I was paying them however much a month for all those years to keep your stuff safe, and then they was on high alert because others in the area had been broken into, but they decided not to. When I then kicked up a fuss, they decided they didn't tell people who had their stuff there because they didn't want to scare them. I was like, well, I would have took extra precautions if you had told me.
Yeah.
They put a security guard through the night to come for an hour and then disappear. And then basically it got broken into. They broke into like two lockers and then got into my one, stole suitcases from another one, and then just cleared out the whole thing. Like, had about 40K, 45K worth of stock.
Yeah.
Got paid out $2,000 on insurance. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
What location? What location?
South
was
Croydon
your
SureGuard, the worst business in the world. Don't ever use them, scumbags. Yeah, and they just had notes. They were like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, it's your fault." I was like, "Mate, you was on high alert. Why wouldn't you warn us and say that it's at risk? Your job is to keep our stuff as safe as possible."
We'll just have a security guard the whole time, you know what I'm saying? People
Exactly.
getting robbed.
So anyway,
Dumb.
we lost like 45K there, and that's like, well, it's in the lockup in the safety thing that I'm literally paying for the reason to keep my stuff safe.
But you see that, right? You see, even you telling me that, I'm so ahead of the game. Is I wouldn't care where your stock was. I would care about you going in and out of it.
Yeah.
You know, if I was to rob me, and that's what I used to think. It's not about what's in the office. It's about if you're leaving that lockup, if you're leaving with bags or you're putting anything into a car, I know that's of high value.
Yeah.
It's why it always used to puzzle me. I used to be on the train quite a lot because my office was not too far from the penthouse Trotters. And I used to see the boys at Trotters on the train sometimes with briefcases. They may not have kettles in them. That might just be their bag, like what you've got. But I would look and think, someone who would know who you was, what's stopping them from grabbing you and checking what's in that bag?
Yeah,
Or literally just weighing you in and taking that bag, you know? And that's when, and back to your question about why I left, I'm going through this thought process all the time. Like the buzzer on my door used to go, my miss used to go, what's wrong? And I used to be like, listen, you hear on the news that like these Amazon drivers now are not Amazon drivers anymore. It's like the man them that are just going to pull out a blade. It could be someone like that. And that's when that was sort of a little bit more of a come up to, you know what, I'm sort of living on other people's terms in the sense of this isn't safe anymore for what I do. I weren't going out. I stopped networking with people because I was scared to say I was a personal shopper because someone would get the wrong idea. You know, I used to post when I was out with friends. I was saying, don't post me, or I'll tell my missus not to post where we was. Didn't know who was watching my social media. So that was another big reason.
People would have been like, I guarantee you as well, like you would have been a target. People would have seen
Oh,
you.
no,
on
I've already been
Instagram
told.
being like,
I've already been told. I had it a couple of months back. Someone said like, look, you was being, look, we've heard it already that someone was, that it, whatever it is, right? And yeah, you left at the right time. And I'm like, look, I knew that anyway.
Yeah, it's so sad because it happens so often. There was there's a rapper. He's got a jewelry shop now. I think it's 6-7 Jewelers.
Oh, that's yeah. He got robbed, didn't he?
Yeah, he got robbed his first year. I think he had about, don't quote me to this, but I think it was like 800K worth of stock or something crazy like that. And he got robbed overnight, everything taken. And he said it's really difficult to actually get insurance policies on these goods because it's so high risk. Another case is, I think it was last year, a London boy, young lad, he got robbed. The CCTV footage of it, he was a watch dealer. He took his own life.
Yeah,
They
I
took
remember
all the
that.
watches.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, quite a few people knew him as well. He was relatively local to where we are.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just sad that we have to live in that type of environment where to have nice things, where you can't really have nice things in the UK anymore, you know?
Which, look, again, that's another big reason why I had to move, right? Because that's my business. You know, luxury goods is what I'm facilitating. So if people are now in a world where they feel like they can't wear nice designer clothes, they can't drive a nice car, wear a nice watch, where am I ever going to generate business, you know? And we're actually very busy in the UK selling pre-loved, which tells you where the market's going.
Yeah.
So what we do, we use Dubai as a buying arm for a lot of pre-owned because it's a very pride thing here. People just throw their pre-owned luxury goods at you for next to nothing, but people bite your arm off in the UK because, one, they're running out of money to facilitate going to buy it brand new, And people stupidly still want to come across that they're something that they're not. But then if you're in a club and you're in an LV t-shirt and you're wearing a pair of Amiri jeans and an LV pair of shoes, the wrong person is going to look at you like a target, because you are. Because you're wearing a £2,000 outfit, you may be skint, but you're telling someone that you've got a lot of money. Someone's going to follow you home. Someone's going to look at it, and if you're wearing a jacket, they're going to want to rob you to see what you're wearing, what car you're getting in, where do you live. It's like, the London is a little bit of a sort of modern day war zone at the minute.
Bro, yeah, someone got stabbed on a train. They may have died, may or may not have died, like 2 years ago because of the fact they were wearing a Canada Goose jacket.
Yeah, I see that story, and that says it all, right?
Yeah.
And I heard a story the other day. A friend told me that his brother got robbed. He had a watch on. This is how mad the world is. He had a date just on, but they never robbed the date just. They robbed the jacket. But they were so fixated on, oh my God, he's got a Canada Goose jacket on, that they didn't see he was wearing a watch. Take your jacket off, take your jacket off. And he gave him the jacket, and luckily he was able to get back into the restaurant. But again, that just shows you where the world is, you know?
That's quite smart that you're buying here for the pre-owned stuff. I can imagine there's a lot of stuff flying around here, right, to be scooping up.
Yeah, for us it's good because we're selling what we're buying back. And you know, where the buy, as you said, there's a party every day. People don't want to wear the same outfit.
Do you sell much pre-owned here or not really at all?
No, again, touch on the pride thing. I don't think everyone look, it's a big competition out here, you know? Even if someone wanted to buy pre-loved, we would have to create a sort of private process for someone to be able to buy that. No one wants to walk in and I tell someone, oh, Joe was in the other day and he was buying 4 used LV t-shirts. Someone would go, what, he's got no money?
It's bad for the
Do you know what I mean? He's buying a used LV t-shirt, but he's bopping into an Urus. Don't think that's a problem, you know, because I think sometimes you get some really good pre-loved deals rather than spending £1,000 on a t-shirt. But again, it's back on the thought process here is mad. Yeah.
It's good for you though.
Yeah, amazing for me. Yeah, it's a win-win for me, of course.
So when you moved out...
Very quick break from the podcast. It's Luke here from the Multipliers Club. If you're building a business or personal brand and want help with your content, paid ads, funnels, or anything AI, message us on Instagram at Harvey_Warrington_media. We've been helping brands, businesses, and entrepreneurs grow for over 6 years now. So DM us the letters TMC, and we'll book you in for a completely free strategy session to see how we can help. You can also DM us on the Multipliers Club.
Of course.
So when you moved out, obviously, when you moved, like around like the COVID time and stuff, I remember that's when that's when I got out of the personal shopping game. There was so many personal shoppers joining, right?
Yeah.
In the UK, there was so many. Was you one of the first out here in Dubai? Because I hadn't seen anyone really out here when you first came.
Yeah, look, I tried to do market research here, and I thought, you know what, I cracked it here. There's not many people out here. There was one other personal shopper from the UK here. I thought, you know what, this market's massive enough to be able to do so. Then I moved, and I was like, wow. Because I started to network. Because people see you making a lot of noise fairly early on. I was approached by a lot of local resellers that will put me in a lot of forums like what we've got in the UK.
Yeah.
It is super saturated here, but not saturated to a point where another reseller can't move over here and make money. But I just underestimated how many people were here doing what I was planning on coming to do. So I sort of cracked an angle that let me do something that no one else is doing. No one really had an approachable showroom. So I went to every showroom possible once I originally moved here as an undercover shopper. You know, going into showrooms, and I'm like, you know what, I don't like that about that person. I like that. I like this. I don't like that. Don't like this office building because it's like 27 floors and it took me ages to get into a lift. Put that sort of down onto paper, and I thought, you know what? Why I wasn't able to find anybody, because no one's doing any content. There was nothing on TikTok or Instagram. It was literally typing on Google personal shopper. And because I was in my location and I was actually situated here, then it all started to come up. So I sort of did it wrong. You know, if you type in personal shopper now, it's showing you proximity. It wasn't doing that in the UK. So I went very heavy on content. I did what everybody told me not to do. A lot of local resellers are like, bro, like you can't pronounce words right. Like, one, you're white. I got that a lot. Like, I don't think someone from the UK is going to be able to break into our network. It's very cultural here, you know. They're like, you're never going to be able to sell to local individuals. You're never going to be able to sell to women. I said, sweet. I said, look, I'm going to come with what I think works. It's worked for me before. And if it works, amazing. If it don't, then we'll switch up the process. And now everybody copies what we do. It worked, and it's the best thing I've done.
Have you found now a lot more people moving over?
Loads. Yeah, loads. Especially this year. There's a lot of people setting up. And look, I'm not scared of competition because there's a few buttons in my sort of business plan that I haven't pressed. If I press it, I'll take over the whole game. I've taken it over anyway. You know, I am the market leader here for what I do. Within my target market and niche, there's a lot of local resellers here that are killing it. You know, they've got the Kuwaitis, the Qatars. Yeah. Look, find me a guy from Bethnal Green that sells the Royal Family. Obviously, can't touch too much on that, but they are like my biggest clients to date. And we've got them through organic word of mouth. I've never run a Google ad. I don't have a website. So everything I built UK and Dubai has been done off word of mouth. So I must be doing something right. But everyone's moving here, and it excites me because I can live. And like I did in the UK, I'm not. The thing about the UK is everybody's against everybody. It's why no one's making as much money, and no one could get their head around how I was making so much money. Why? Didn't look at anyone as competition. How many deals do we do together?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I could turn around and go, no, don't want to buy from him. He's another reseller. But
That's where most of the money, not a good amount of money, was made from having the close partnerships.
Yeah, it was like, cool, what stock have you got? Perfect. Let me leverage off that. Do you want to know what I've got? You can leverage off that. And then suddenly my stockpile's gone from being 50,000 to 100,000.
Exactly.
But I've not had to put the extra 50K in. And that's exactly what we do here. We sell, I would say 65% of our product we don't see. 45% is what is bought in our showroom. So that other 65 is done by creating solid relationships and not being afraid to work with people that are competition. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong.
I think that's where, like, you know, drop shipping, that's where the model of drop shipping works so well. But in my opinion, and it depends obviously what industry you're in, but having the core foundation, taking the risk yourself, getting some stock. It's the same with clothing, same with watches, same probably with cars, all of these sort of industries. If you bite the bullet yourself and invest and put some skin in the game, then everyone else is willing to work with you. And that's where it becomes so powerful, drop shipping. You can make so much money. Like I said, we used to do it, you're still doing it. But a lot of people just want to do it from absolutely nothing. And I remember when we was first trying to break into the watch game as personal shoppers that was just doing clothes, they was all a little bit sketchy to let us in. But as soon as you go and buy a few watches and show you've got skin in the game, then they're like, all right, cool, yeah, you can take a few photos of mine and vice versa, send me a few business cards, and that's sort of how it works. But I feel like a lot of people when they're first trying to get started don't want to put any skin in the game.
Trying to run before they
Bro, it's like going
well.
fishing with no bait, you know. You can't throw a fishing rod into water and then get a big swamp of fish and hope you're going to catch something.
Yeah.
It's why I was very quick to buy stock. It's why we bought... Everyone was like, don't buy stock here. I didn't really know the market here, you know, so I've probably lost a lot of money on some stock that I bought here, but at the same time, I made a lot of money by stock that I bought, and I think that's what set us apart is nothing in my office is consigned. I'm probably sitting on about 2 million quid worth of stock. That's my stock.
Yeah.
Nothing's consigned, and that's another sort of clout push because people come in and they're like, oh, is this consignment? And when you tell them it's yours, then the risk all sits on you, which is another factor for them to trust you. Because I've seen a lot of horror stories here. A lot of showrooms consign. That's their way of letting fakes come into the market and then them hit you with an excuse of, oh, it's not my stock. The consignee gave me a fake bag and I never checked it. You're not going to have that of us because I claim all the stock is ours. It's all mine. I bought it. I know where I bought it from and I've authenticated it. And that's what gets people in the door. People want to see, feel, touch, smell, try on, you know? That's part of our service.
100%. What do the margins look like for you then, or a typical personal shopper? So like if you're selling, you've sold quite a couple of Birkin bags now, haven't you?
Yeah,
Big,
a lot.
Like huge tickets.
Yeah.
So how much do you make on that if you're allowed to disclose?
Yeah, of course. Look, we say to clients, we are a heavy premium to retail. In theory, the person who initially bought that bag at retail is going to make more money than I am, solely because they've got it for £9,000. I'm probably going to give them 17K. I might sell it between... It all sort of differs, really. We try and work off a £1,500 margin minimum. But then, again, what sets me apart is we're not margin chasers. And this is when I go through sales training with the boys, it's not about, in Dubai, it's not about chasing margin. It's about building relationships. So I'm not afraid to make £300 on a bag. Because if you're buying a Birkin bag, you're of a specific caliber of client. Because 20 grand on a bag is a lot of money, yeah? And if we sell you a Birkin, we're going to sell you another one because what girl has one Birkin, right? They've got a collection. And if they wear a Birkin, they're wearing Chanel bags. And if they're wearing Chanel bags, they're also wearing designer clothes. And then we really get down to the nitty gritty. You probably drive a supercar. Well, we've got Trend Auto, which is another arm to our business. And then we've got Trend Tickets, which is our hospitality company. So we know that we sort of draw a circle around the client. It may be, like look at the client I sold the 8122. I made £80 on a pair of Hermes trainers. You know, but he came in and I judged him based on what he was wearing and the watch he had on, and we had a conversation. I've just gone and sold him a car for 1.5 million off the back of an £80 margin. So we're not margin chasers, but there is good margin, but we base ourselves on volume. So on average, we sell between 40 and 50 Hermes bags a month.
It's very clever what you've done. So am I right in saying you've decided to build like an ecosystem around like a high net worth individual to keep them in the loop of consuming and buying with you?
Yeah. I'm looking at the customer journey. I think if a client walks in, buys one item, walks out and doesn't shop again, then we're crap at what we do. You know, the customer journey for me is, fashion is the ultimate magnet to everything. Hence why I become co-founder of businesses that I have no clue. I don't know about cars, right? My favorite car is a Cullinan. That's as far as it's going to go. I don't know about cars, but I've got the magnet of understanding a client's journey. If they come in and buy a bag or buy 10 pairs of shoes, they're not jumping into a Nissan Sunny. You know, they're driving in, they're jumping into something nice. Well, we've also got that service. when they're out on the weekend, they're probably going to UFC and Formula One. Well, we've also got that service. And then we've got other little arms of businesses that we get kickbacks from. So again, the business model has become a bit more of the ultimate one-stop shop. And there's a lot of other little businesses that we're going to launch in 2026, which are going to be, really game-changing for us and have us, like, as I say, draw a circle around you. You're not getting out of it.
What sort of stuff? Can you dive into that?
Yeah, well, look, I don't like the word concierge because I hate that. We're not going to be booking tables for people, but ultimately, I've done a lot of real estate deals since I've been here, a lot, and that's just off the cuff of my network. I think it's you know what they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So it's really identifying who do I know and where are my clients shopping outside of me, and then looking at how can I then bring those services under the Trend umbrella, you know. So like we even launched our shoe cleaning company the other day. That's gone crazy, like, and that's not even to monetize. That's more to get clients in that have not yet bought from me, but I'm cleaning their shoes. Why? Because if they bring 5 pairs of Hermes shoes, but they're not a Trend client, well, they've obviously used the reseller. If they haven't, let's convert them, you know? So we've gained like maybe 10 or 20 new clients off the back of, can you clean my shoes? Okay, well, where are you shopping? Oh, I'm using this person, that person. So I'm just sort of like deviating people back into the business model.
I love it because it's like they're paying for like a conversation. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
getting their shoes clean, but you're actually like, this is like a sales opportunity. You're really
Yeah,
starting
do
to
you
build
know how I
rapport.
was
It's
thinking
clever.
about it as well? I was thinking about it. So like me and Luke are in marketing, right? Like it's like a lead magnet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Paid
You're
lead
giving them
magnet.
away, not something for free, but you're giving them something, and then you get the opportunity to build a relationship and
Exactly.
do something special together.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Like we want to go down the real estate arm. The main goal for me is to build like I love Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Oh, yeah, that's
and
the one,
I
that's
know
the
I
one,
was in
yeah.
recruitment for 5 years. Funny enough, actually, Jordan Belford's in Dubai next Thursday. I'm going to his talks, which I'm looking forward to. I'm
that's
taking the
live.
boys with me for sales training. Yeah, he's doing a whole sales day. So my goal is to have a sales floor, you know, one for every single different business. We should really be stripping it back to the old school sales techniques. Getting like a real estate company. I looked at this the other day. A real estate company don't put you on a salary, they put you on commission. But what do? They give you a reputable business and they give you stock. Well, we do the same. So in theory, I want to build a sales floor of individuals that come in on a really aggressive commission basis, selling our services to people, you know, because at the minute I'm sort of doing it myself. I've got the 2 sales boys, I've got my business partner, but imagine like a real estate firm, not doing real estate, but pushing our services like real estate brokers do. I think we can make a massive dent in the market. And that's sort of the goal for me next year is to have a sales floor just to like, don't know, mate. Have a load of midgets running around, you know, and just bowl around, you know. Like we've got a bell in the office now, and every time we do a big deal, we're just like smashing the bell. It just takes me back to the
It's
recruitment
unreal
days.
energy. Like when you're on a sales floor that's pumping, that synergy you feel, it's like, mate, it's electric.
Yeah.
It's so motivational. So we've got a couple of sales guys for our company, and everyone wants to work from home now. I don't know if there's more of a UK thing. Do people work from home in
hated
Dubai as well?
Well, look, you can work from anywhere, as I said before, and I think I'd prefer to work from home in Dubai than in the UK. Because what you're going to do, go and sit in a Costa in the UK and like a crackhead's going to walk in and ask for a free coffee. Where here, you can go sit at like Sand Beach and you can be plotted up somewhere fairly quiet with like the beachfront in front of you.
Yeah.
I worked from home for 2 years when working in recruitment, and it was like, made me who I am today because that's when the Trend brand really took off. But then it also showed me I need to be around other like-minded people. Hence why I brought my team here. You know, I was a one-man band for 9 months in Dubai, just me, and it was great because I was bouncing off of people. But I'm like, man, I like my right-hand man Matthew, who was running our London office. I'm like, I need him here. Like, I need him doing a bigger deal than me to motivate me, vice versa. I want to know how much money he's made today to motivate me to make more money. So in our office now, it is very Wolf of Wall Street. I'm on the boys. How much money have you made today? No, I've not made none. Well, then you're shit. Do you know what I mean? Really get them psyched up to start making money. Or if I do a big deal, I'm screaming and shouting about it because it's going to motivate them to do it. And all of our boys are on commission anyway, so it's that real hunger feel every morning to make money.
What's the
Male
team look like now?
competition.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I'm a firm believer of male competition. It breeds excellence.
Yeah.
You need to be in constant competition. This is why we've got like one sales guy specifically selling for us right now. But I need someone else to sell along him. So he, like, for example, when you done those deals for HW, so Joe, he closed a couple of Dubai leads for us. Joe billed more in a week than my other sales guy done in a month.
Yeah.
But that wasn't highlighted to me that he wasn't doing great until Joe done what he done. I was like, right, okay, we need to step up the game a little bit here now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then what's the difference between your guy and Joe? Why have you done that deal and he hasn't?
What do you mean?
So
Just because I was in Dubai, so he was doing the UK. I came out here, and then so is that what you mean?
Like, you're out meeting clients, yeah? Like
That's
you
true,
close
yeah,
that deal
face to
by
face, yeah.
Yeah. So
face,
I,
actually.
I closed face to face. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the joys of Dubai. I think it's so hard to close face to face in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like
No
here,
one wants
it's
to
like
meet.
they're 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
that's
No
so
one
far
wants to
away,
meet.
yeah.
I did it in recruitment. I did recruitment for 5 years. The hardest thing was getting in front of me. No, mate, I'm busy. No, mate,
Yeah.
not this. And when I did get in front of them, which sometimes was unplanned, you just end up bumping into them on site. They buy into you. You know, so maybe because your guys sort of like smashing the phones. I think if someone tried to sell over the phone, like I've just bought an off-plan villa, and they've been trying to sell to me for ages over the phone. And I went to my pal went to sign some papers. We weren't planning to go to the Damac office, and I went down, and the guy was selling to me, and he was so good at what he'd done, I ended up going for it. You know, so I think that face-to-face, old-school sales technique is always the best. Yeah.
Mate, we're all the same. We
Sales
just
guys
buy.
love
If someone's
getting
good at
sold, innit?
sales, we just buy.
Big
Do you know what I mean?
buyers,
'Cause you just,
yeah.
we love it. And even if you know what they're doing, you're like, yeah, like it's good. And but the other way around, when it's something I actually want, but they're shit at selling, sometimes I'm not even gonna buy it now, man. You need to up your game, like. do you
Mate,
know what
I had that the other day. We went and looked at a villa, me and my missus, and I already wanted I was ready to make an offer, but like this lady rocked up, didn't even say hello, and I said, you know what, scrap this, just out of pride, just out of pride, because I thought she's took my Sunday out to come in, like just like a scruff, didn't even say hi, and I was showing her around the villa, telling her the plans, where if she came with energy and told me, look, the pool you want to build could go here, and this is the master bedroom, and there's the ensuite, and there's the community, I'd have been like, done. The deal was done, and I actually never went ahead just because she was just rubbish.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I
speaks volumes,
no, but and I
doesn't
said
it?
that to her. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I'm cutthroat, man. And I say to the boys, if they're crap, I'm telling them they're crap. And I was like, that was the worst, probably villa show around I've ever seen ever.
It's such a good point you make, though, because your attitude is the same as other high net worth individuals who are advantageous. So if you've got salespeople that aren't bringing the energy, how many deals are they losing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
huge
I'm
thing
a
to
big
think
energy
about.
person for sure.
I want to ask you as well. So, excuse me. Like when I see this, right, the skyline of Dubai, it motivates me massively. But I don't live here. It's my second time here, and it's my first day here this time around. Does the novelty wear off of this city ever? Or does it always feel great?
No, listen. I think it's the best place in the world. I think what does wear off is everybody wishes to be in the sun and live by the beach and whatnot. But I think when you actually do live here, for me personally, maybe I'm a little bit boring, but you don't take advantage of those amenities as much. It's not exciting that I live on the beach anymore. You know, if anything, I'm like, oh, man, I can't be bothered to sunbathe. You know, sometimes the missus want to do a pool day. I'm like, well, yeah, but we done it last week, you know? But at the same time, every single day is different here. Like, you meet people, you sit and have conversations with people. Like, I train at 7 Gym, probably one of the best gyms in Dubai, and I pull up and then a Bugatti pulls up. Or you be training next to someone and he's wearing like $500,000 watch. And for me, being quite young, hungry, and in the business world, it's like every day is an opportunity. Where in the UK, it's like you go into the gym, everyone's a little bit unhappy, no one wants to speak. You don't see the sort of luxury motivational aspects of like, you know what, you've got to work harder. And that was one thing in the UK as well. I felt, not like top dogs, it sounds a little bit flash, but I was very top of my game. And when there's not other people top of your game, you sort of take your foot off the gas a little bit. Because you know, like, look, I'm up there. We're here. I mentioned a 19-year-old that come in, and when he come in, it half ruined my day, I'll be honest with you, but it didn't at the same time. It was like, you know what, you've got to wake up and work harder. He's 19, he's retired, he's coming in, he spent nearly $250,000 dirham. And like, you're 25 and you're not on his level, you know. And he walked in big wash, and I thought, wow, like I've got to up the game here. There's a lot better than me out here. I've got to go a lot harder than what I'm going. So
Yeah, you're never going to get to the top here, which is,
No.
with a good mindset, it's a good
yeah,
thing,
which
innit?
is good, bro. Do you know what I mean?
There's
Because
always someone bigger.
it just makes you go harder. It makes you take I take some risky moves, and I buy to buy 5 Hermes bags. Like, I bought 5 Hermes bags yesterday. That's 100 grand stone. That's a big move. That could send somebody under. Probably could send me under if it all went wrong, you know? But it's like, I know I'm going to sell it. And I know the clients are here, and I know the caliber of person who's going to walk in and buy the item. So it just allows you to just be a lot more ballsier in business than what you would be anywhere else, I think.
You're obviously good at networking, right? That's like built your whole business. What have you been doing to network?
Mate, I speak to everybody. We've got a cabinet in the address JBR. I like to go down there sometimes, plot up. I got speaking to a guy yesterday at the Patek on. I think the good thing here, people show a sense of wealth. Now, a lot of my friends are in real estate, and it's a lot easier for me to close a deal than it is them, because you can't look at someone and go, he's going to buy a villa today. I could look at you and go, you know what, you're going to be a client. Well, maybe not, because that bag's fake, but no, but I'll see the bag and I'll see the watch, and I'm going to create a conversation. And it's easy for me, because I'm going to come over and go, where'd you buy your watch? You've either bought it from Rolex or you bought it third party. Do you know? And it's the same I do with Hermes bags. I go, sorry, where'd you buy your bag? They're only going to tell me 2 things: Hermes or reseller. If they bought it from Hermes, I know that lady or person can only buy 2 per year, so I can facilitate, because I can sell you as many as you want. And if you use the reseller, I'll price match or beat to convert you, you know. So I just sit in influential areas that I know clients are.
So where's some of the best places out here? Like, what's some tips for me just moving here, want to network, be around business people?
Yeah, you
Where
want
do you need to be?
The address chain is probably one of the best, you know, where they've got such a good name for. The good thing about the address is you've got residential and you've got hotel. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You've got your sort of ultra high net worth residential people that live there, but then you've also got your rich people that understand the amenity to the address that also are staying there. So you've got the best of both
So what,
worlds.
can you just go and use the
Just sit in the
facilities
lobbies. Yeah, just sit in the lobbies, plot up. Where if you're not selling a product, then so for me, it's great. 'Cause what I'll do is I'll go and plot up somewhere. I'll get a Birkin bag out. I'll put it on a box. It looks like I'm about to do a deal. That'll attract conversation anyway. Like I was in the address JBR yesterday. I've got a bit of an advantage because when I'm talking to people, I can point at the cabinet that we've got. We've got a really nice glass cabinet there with product in. But a guy sat in front of me. He had a Patek on, and I just straight away I was like, "Bro, love your watch." Can't say that in the UK, right? Because you said it. If someone said that to me in the UK, I'm out of there, mate. Yeah, done. What do you mean you like my watch? And my dad always told me that never compliment somebody's watch because it shows that you're sort of looking at what you shouldn't be looking at, you know, and it makes someone feel a little bit on edge. Out here, people love that, and they love an ego boost. I'm like, bro, love your Patek. I'm now about to sell him a Patek now. He's about to buy an Aquanaut off me. Off the back of a conversation, showed him my Instagram, and back onto trust. Maybe he trusts me because of the cabinet, but we spoke for an hour, you know, and I wasn't pressurizing. I was like, look, like your watch. I was like, look, let's exchange numbers. If you're ever in the market, I'll be happy to help. Bang, send me it over, and hopefully we get the deal done. Just off a conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
I have another test for you, right? So we've established that the bag is Schneid, right? What do you think about this watch? Is this real or is it fake? Just for the camera, that's a Datejust 41 millimeter. I don't even know what model it is. I think it's 2023.
The date's wrong, but that's just a normal thing. I don't think my watch is the right time.
I don't think mine's the right time either, actually.
My date on mine was like off by like 20 days, like the other day. I don't know how it gets out.
Yeah, I would say it's real.
Yes, it is real.
You
I
know
had
what
to
you
do that
tell
because my ego was hurt because of the bag.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But it's very hard to tell, isn't it?
Thing is,
Yeah,
some
no,
of the
it-
watches like are so good as well. You got like, baby, you open them up, innit? That's how a lot of them tell.
Yeah.
Open the back up.
Yeah, I would say Dubai is bigger for, well, I would say I think Dubai is bigger for counterfeit than what the UK is. We see a lot. Or weird things like you would see real RMs with fake papers, which puzzles me. Or you would see fake papers, or you see a fake watch with real papers, or the bags full genuine leather with the right stamp and right invoice, but the bag is fake. You know, it's weird out here. There's a lot of people try to pull fast ones here because I think they take advantage of how safe it is. You know, they think, you know what, everybody knows I'm not going to commit a crime out here, so let me try and be a little bit smart. And people always get caught out.
I've still heard stories out here, yeah, like with a few on the watches and that side of
Apparently, real estate specifically as well. You've got to be very careful in the real estate market out here. Like, apparently, there's a lot of opportunists. I wanted to ask you as well. I mean, I'm always a little bit cautious actually being in Dubai and asking questions that might be bad for Dubai. I don't even know if I should ask, but like, what's bad about living in Dubai? We've spoken about the good, but is there anything where you kind of feel like, oh, this isn't practical, or this is shit?
I think the only thing that I would say is where Dubai is so flashy can sometimes attract the wrong people.
In what way?
Like, so you get a lot of people that come over here and they sort of, I would say women as well, because listen, I know a lot of girls back home that have come over here, and you can be very accustomed to a lifestyle very quickly, and it can change a person, you know. You see here a lot of ultra high net worths come over here, and girls will latch onto a lifestyle that maybe isn't for them, but they'll still latch onto it and become somebody that they're not. And same for guys, it's very easy to come here and try and keep up, right? And you see it all the time. It's why I say that if you don't last you've got your 6 months period in Dubai. If you last 6 months or maybe 12 months, then Dubai is for you. But a lot of people come out here thinking, I need to drive a supercar, I need to wear a nice watch, I need to live in a penthouse. And then they just end up blowing all their dough and going back. Or another thing is people think Dubai is the easy route. You know, people go, yeah, mate, you know what? I'm going to move over to Dubai. It just looks like everything goes well. No, bro, Dubai's hard. You know, it's hard to come here and set up quick. A lot of real estate brokers come over here and think everybody in real estate's making money. No, they're not. You know, you only see the champagne and glitz of Dubai. You know, and I think a good thing about Dubai, which may not be a bad thing about Dubai, is you never see bad public news, which I think is amazing. But then that then tells a lot of people that they think they're going to come out here and have an easy life. Think they're going to move out here and straight away go into a job and everyone wants to buy a 5-bed villa on the Palm. No, like you've really got to go out there and chase harder than what you've ever chased before, because
competitive,
Yeah, I was
innit?
gonna
yeah,
say,
exactly, because you just get swallowed up. You get like my little brother's moving out here in January, and I said to him, I said like, it looks all good, but I'm not giving you a handout, mate. You know, like, yeah, you're going to come into the handout is I've built Trend to such a reputable company that you can walk in and make money straight away off your own back. I'm not going to give you clients. Go out there and chase them. And I say to the boys as well, if you're not putting numbers on the board, you're crap. Because we're in a country now where you can have a conversation with somebody and that person will spend money straight away, but it depends how good you are at doing that.
So do they all have to build their own client base?
Yeah, all have to build their own client base. So the commission structure and how we work is if somebody walks into the office, it's a certain commission because in theory they found the brand. That's the brand pushing the client. If the client who's walked in refers a friend, it's a little bit more commission because it means that you've serviced that client and they've then felt comfortable to refer. But the big comms is you show me a client that hasn't messaged on Instagram, never heard about Trend, but you've gone out and networked. So Harry, for example, was in Bioli the other day, J1. Bro, it's a really good location to go. You've got Bioli, you've got Suresnes. It's like that south of France of Dubai. See a client with an RM, we say this, look out for wealth, yeah? Sometimes that may be wrong. There may be someone that just looks like an absolute tramp, for example, or wearing just a plain t-shirt and shorts who is a billionaire. But if you see an RM, speak to that person. Got speaking away to him, the guy's come in and spent hundreds of thousands of dirhams. That's a higher commission because he's gone out of his way to bring new business into the business that I probably wouldn't have got, you know? But they all have to get their own clients, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So what would you say for people now, whether it's in the UK or Dubai, that are potentially looking to get into this game? Personal shopping, watches, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
In Dubai or just in general?
Dubai or the UK?
Yeah. I think, look, if you're looking to come in to the personal shopping space, you've never, ever done it before, I think the biggest thing is relationship building. It is harder and harder in the UK now, as you said, like, look, trying to... And I think another thing as well is start small. Too many people come into the space like, yeah, I want to sell watches and RMs and Pateks. And no. Like, really strip it back to who's your target market. And I always build a business off of friends and family first. Yeah. So when we did shoe cleaning here, we was cleaning friends and family shoes before putting it out to our Trend clients. 1, you test phase the market first. 2, you understand how business works. 3, you build up sort of track record of sales. And then you understand what people actually want rather than trying to jump in because you aren't going to sell an AP. Why? Because you haven't got the cash flow for it. You haven't got a base to show the client. And in theory, in today's day and age, people want to see the item first. Now, you haven't got a strong enough relationship to get the watch. That's another great thing about being in Dubai is a lot of people are so trusted. I could walk in, maybe because I've got quite a good name, I could walk in and take $2 million worth of watches, go and show a client. If the client doesn't like them, I'll take them back. Yeah. So I think back to your question of how to start, base it off of friends and family. Try and only come into the space if you've got passion for it. Don't try and do what makes money. You know, like if that was the case, I'll try and do crypto, but I don't know about it. So you're always going to lose money. So start small, build it off of friends and family, and then just gradually work your way up and build relationships with other resellers in the space that you idolize. That's what I done. I was messaging the Undivideds, the Henry Chaddicks. What have you got available? Try and base it off of websites first and try and digitally sell through like Instagram story. And then what you do is you fake it until you make it so much of that stock's mine. You buy your own little stockpile, which probably how we both started. Yeah. And then that stockpile grows. As you sell, you buy again. As you sell, you buy again. And then you just repeat buying what you've sold so much of. And it's how we got into the bags.
Would you recommend people, if they've not already got a presence or done personal shopping, to come out here and kickstart? Or do you feel like they need to build up and get a bit of time in the game in the UK first?
Yeah, I think out here you need to, like, it's like anything. You need to have some sort of personal brand behind your business or some sort of track record. Because, again, it's all good networking and saying you do this and that, but people also want to see. You know, like, you've got to sort of prove as much as you're giving the talk of have you done it before. If you're like, get chatting away with someone, if they ask you a question and you get that question wrong, that's it. You know, then you've shattered that trust barrier. And it's like when I started doing the bags out here, I sold my first bag in 2023, just before I relocated. So I've not been in the Hermes bag space much. But what I would do is if I knew a client was coming in, I would just go and watch loads of YouTube videos and I would sort of like bullshit to a certain extent, right? But you've got to be educated, and that education come off online, but also what I've done for the past 7 years with other brands. I know how to service a client. I know what I'm talking about, price point, aftercare, how to word. How do I know your item's authentic? If you can't give an answer to that, that's it. The client ain't going to buy from you, you know?
Can people learn from you? Do you offer any sort of coaching or for someone who might want to get into personal shopping?
Yeah. Look, 2021, 2022, I made a lot of money in the coaching space accidentally, you know, because I was very... What I used to do all the time from a content standpoint was post what was going out to sell. I never used to put my face to the brand as much as I do now, but I'd always post office items going out. This is a massive tip and trick for everybody. Show people you're busy. So the more people see that, I would just get people reach out and go, look, bro, can you help me do it? And I would always brush people off because I was busy. And then one individual at particular, I sort of give a bit of time to, and he started to make money, but then he was like, look, bro, like, I can see that you're not really replying because you're busy. What if I pay you? So I'm like, okay, how much? He's like, look, like, jump on a few calls with me, I'll give you £500. I'm like, what? In my head, I'm thinking, you're going to give me 500 quid, jump on a few calls, done. And even as I'm doing these calls, I was identifying how educated I was. I was coming out of a lot of gems, and I'd come off the call and go, you know what, mate, I'm good at this. You know, like looking in the mirror, like, I'm the man. And that individual would go away and make a lot of money. And to this day, it's still making a lot of money, got a showroom, killing it. I'm actually buying from them, they buy from me. And then I sort of formulated a blueprint to a certain extent. Now, it weren't the typical calls that sold the dream, because it weren't like flashy cars or flashy watches and I'm going to help you make 10K a month without knowing that I'm going to help that person. So 2022, I made a lot of money. We had an amazing course. And then I moved to Dubai and I sort of burned out, in all honesty. I run that business into the ground. That business today could be a multi-million-pound business, you know? And it was only because I didn't realize how fast-paced Dubai was. Mate, I was taking pre-workouts at 3 a.m, jumping on Zoom calls with people. I was still giving people my devoted attention, but I was like burning out, man. And like, was getting ill. I was like, I don't have to buy it to me because of it. And then I stopped. But what that's allowed me to do is over the last nearly 2 years, it's allowed me to build up what should have been fake then in order to be a successful course seller. That makes sense. So I was going to join a marketing company when I moved out here. They're like, bro, you need to rent a watch, go and get a fast car, make it look like you're living on a palm. I'm like, well, no, I'm from Bethnal Green. I'm not doing that. Right, and I've only just moved out to Dubai. That's not realistic. What isn't realistic then is very realistic now. You know, I own all my stock. The showroom's mine. We're opening another showroom. We're about to open up in Qatar. So the story behind, well, how can you teach me what to do? How can you teach me to be the best personal shopper is, well, look, check the scoreboard. You know, everything I've done is off my own back. So we've built a lot of automations. We're bringing a lot of educational content to the space. We're only going to work with certain individuals. The business model in 2022 is take on everybody. No, it's not the case. And it's going to be very high ticket because I can now walk the walk and talk the talk a lot more. So if you ain't going to pay the price, then don't start. So next year we're going to relaunch. I was like the first person to really do it, and then everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Everyone was posting the same stuff. I stopped, and it may not be because I stopped, but everyone else has stopped now. You know, and everyone was copying my content then. But what I'm going to bring back can't be replicated because no one's done what I've done.
Bro, do you know what? So I did it because of the whole COVID situation. I did that for like same thing as yourself, and then I ended up doing it for like, I think I opened up like 10 spots, did it for 10 people, earned good money, and obviously that was in COVID and stuff. So I thought, okay, cool, this is good. But then I think I maybe sold a few more, and I was thinking, no, I'm gonna fuck this whole industry if I sell anymore. Like I need to not do it. Like someone actually pitched to me, someone that I'd sold to that set up. You'd know who it is. It's still going now. He pitched about setting up the own, like a separate Instagram page to do it. Kind of, he said like it'd be like the Amazon FBA of, you know, of the personal shopper.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, mate, I just didn't see the vision of doing it at mass. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Stay tapped out, go out the industry. Then I see like yourself and a couple other people doing it, and it just went mad. And so many people, I was like, wow, I never saw the vision.
Yeah, bro, I was churning, bro.
I know, I could see the numbers of like how many people were joining in on your groups and stuff, and I was thinking, these guys are.
Could do, but you
these
can
guys
make money
are
from selling
killing
to them as well because they need stock and you got stock, right? So it's just
it's I won't go too much into the business model because it's super smart and not many people did it how I done it because I sort of did it in a circular motion where everything sort of tied back to us. But today it's also strengthened the Dubai brand because a lot of people that went through the motions of the course freelance work for me. So as it stands, I've probably got about 75 to 85 virtual shoppers. So I send a lot of these people that I've supported, and it's in doing this, they're also making money. So like I've got 3 boys now in Paris that have gone through the course, but they're in Paris sort of working for me, but they're also making money as well, right? And that allows them to build their personal brand, their content, and buy. So it was probably one of the best things I've done. I just regret stopping it, but it's relaunching at an amazing time because when we all started, AI weren't even a thing. Maybe it was, but it weren't public. The whole automations and system side, people are still trying to understand, you know? So plugging in the systems and processes and AI now will take us to new heights, but it's not so much, do you know what it is? And it sounds very cliche and very cringy. It's not even about the money aspect of it. Yes, I want to make money. I love money, but mate, I actually enjoyed it. I get random people now message me or come into the office like, bro, give me 5 minutes. And I understand time is money, but I like sitting there going, listen, because it boosts my ego. Someone's come to me to help. I'm still very young. I'm 25, you know. I get a lot of people like in their 30s going, bro, I really want to get into what you're doing. So for someone to come to me a lot older than me and see me as a potential mentor proves that what I'm doing is right. So yeah, look, I want to do it to make money, but at the same time, I actually enjoy doing it. You know, helping people and seeing them make money motivates me to just continue to do it.
For anyone listening who might want to reach out to you to inquire about this program, how can they find you? What are your Instagram tags? We're going to drop the Instagram tags in the bio to this podcast as well, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, personal brand is Harley J Trend, and that's where we're going to sort of relaunch the course on anyway. So there's a lot of content, and the real story behind why I stopped, you know, because people think there's a lot of rumors in the industry, rug pull and all this. No, I just burned out. Ultimately, I was like, as I say, banging pre-workout at 3 a.m. is like a drug addict. Yeah, and I mean like 2 scoops, a little bit of water, and I was there. And I remember like dozing away on Zoom calls, and it weren't fair. And do you know what it was? I wasn't a typical call seller because I could have rug pulled like many people do, you know. I could have continued to offer a shabby service and still take people's money, but for me, it was like, that's not ethically me, you know. I'd rather just stop. And we had to refund 2 members because they were at the very early stages of my burnout. And I said, look, take your money back. I said, because right now I can't do this anymore, you know, and I'll come back. And I still get bombarded. People still book calls now. There's a booking link somewhere in the world and I still get it, you know, and it kills me to not jump on the call. I just don't have time at the minute. But next year with the team that I'm building, a new showroom and the systems, it's going to be something special. So yeah, Harley J Trend on Instagram. And people can still reach out now, you know. I'm still on the DMs giving away tips and tricks as and where I can. But next year will be my my proper comeback.
Good man. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming
No,
on,
I
mate.
appreciate me having me, boys.
It's been a pleasure.
Wicked.
Thank
Top
you.
man.